What is going on, everyone? Welcome to CR Hooked. I'm Cody, and on today's episode we are doing some sheephead fishing. Now usually Erica is with me fishing, but today she's at work and I'm out here doing some sheephead fishing on my kayak by myself. In today's episode we're gonna hopefully tear those sheephead up. You can see where I'm at Bob Sykes Bridge. Now I fished this about a week ago and did really well out here. I'm hoping I can do the same thing, but I did decide, as you've seen from the thumbnail, to spice it up. I think that when we get these sheephead fired up and if they're here and they're eating, we should be able to catch them on frozen popcorn shrimp. Look at that. Oven crisp, baby. That's what's gonna catch us some sheephead. Now I'm gonna find the fish, locate them, get them eating, and then I'm gonna start dropping this down there, but I think we'll be able to catch them on that. So stay tuned for that. This will be a little later in the video. Also, I wanna do something new from now on. Basically, I wanna start shouting out other content creators, whether it be fishing or any kind of content, really. I'm gonna start, at the end of my videos, I'm gonna start saying like shout outs to this person, go check out his channel. He does this kind of content, or she does this kind of content. Trying to just bring an awareness to other content creators, because as a content creator myself, I know it's tough with work, school, life, just life in general. And then having to go out here, find the fish, make the fish bite, and then go home, edit it. It's a lot of work. So I'm gonna start shouting out one content creator at the end of my video. I'll put their links in the description. If you guys would go check them out, that'd be so awesome. Maybe you'll like their content, maybe you won't, but at least I'm trying to help them, and it just makes a better community. But enough talking, I am gonna get to some sheephead fishing. I'll explain everything I'm doing throughout the video, what I'm using, how I'm using it, techniques and everything. So stay tuned for that. All right, so the first thing we always do when we're sheephead fishing is we locate the fish, which I'm not really seeing too many readings, but I did get some on my fish finder right there. And the second thing we do is we start scraping these barnacles on the side right here. You can see them, these big ones. There's a bunch over there. We're gonna scrape those, knock them in the water. What that does is it turns the fish into a feeding mode. And once they're feeding, you put your bait in there and usually we're good. We're also gonna inspect which way the current's going, because you kind of wanna use the current as your advantage. So if the current is drifting this way, you would wanna be on that side of the pylon, making your bait kind of drift underneath that way. But I'm gonna start here. You can see we're just sitting it in the water, and look at all of it go down. Now what that does is, like I said, it just fires these fish up, makes them, if they're not hungry right now and they start seeing all this easy free food at the bottom that's been up here drying, yeah, they're gonna eat it. The worst part is though, you do get messy. You definitely get messy. Now you could use a shovel, a floor scraper, a putty scraper. There's a lot of stuff you can use, but I just like the axis. You see that easier swing. Another thing is, if you scrape and you don't get them right away, make sure you wait a little bit, because they don't just come right after you scrape. It takes them a while to find that scent. See, these sheephead hunt by scent and smell. That's why it takes them a while, but we're gonna get a lot of this knocked off. Now I did bring two scrapers because this one kind of sends it everywhere, whereas this one is a little flatter. I can kind of get it behind there, so we're gonna do that now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook our bait up. What we're gonna start with is these little fiddler crabs. Now we're using about 3.5 foot fluorocarbon leader. I think this is 20 pound. We're using a tiny little Sheepshead hook. We're taking a fiddler crab and we're just going right through the legs and straight out the back. Now if this is your first time tuning in, or you've been here before, you know what I do. I grab two fiddler crabs. One, I use two fiddler crabs because these fish hunt by sight and smell. So two of them helps that visual, and you can get them to see it a little better. So I take two fiddler crabs, so I already got one on the hook. Now I just do the same thing, just right through there and out of his shell, as clean as possible. That's why these little tiny, really fine hooks work great. Look at that. We're gonna drop this bad boy down right where I just dropped all those oysters down. Turn my back camera on. I'm gonna try to get you as many camera actions as I can today. We're gonna see all the way down. And so far, I can see it looks like my line is drifting outward, which means we have an outgoing tide. So that's pushing it right underneath, right where I just scraped. Now these sheephead are finicky and their pecks are very subtle. So what you wanna do is you wanna get as close to the structure as you can, drop it all the way down, tighten it a little bit, and feel that line right there. See how I have my finger right there? That lets you feel every little peck. Today for my combo, I'm using the same thing I used in my last sheephead video. This is a Penn Spinfisher 6 4500 with 20 pound Power Pro line. It's got a Penn Spinfisher 6 rod. This is a 7 foot fast action. I think I just got hit. Trying to turn my GoPros on. All right, so they're down there now. All right, that's the first thing we need. We need them to eat. Once we get them eating, I think we'll be able to use that frozen shrimp. So I'm thinking, I've waited here for 30 minutes. I'm probably gonna move to the next pylon now, about 5 more minutes, and I'll see you over there. Hopefully we can pick them up, man. They gotta be somewhere here. All right, so we just pulled up to the next pylon. We scraped it hard. We're gonna drop down here. I scraped pretty good here, so I'm hoping we can get them fired up. It's all about finding them and getting them fired up. Once you do that, it's easy. After I do that, I can get them on that frozen popcorn shrimp. Filling pecs. All right, move him here. There he is. What'd I say? Reverse him out. Oh, he broke right there. Dang. Unfortunately, after losing that fish, I fished that same spot for about 30 minutes with no luck, and my fish finder died because I did not charge it the night before. So I had the bright idea that I was gonna go pylon to pylon, connecting my GoPro to my phone app so I could see what was down below me. After going a few pylons with not seeing any fish, almost using it as a live scope, and this is what I saw. Now, I have dropped my GoPro down on structure before, but I looked at the footage when I got home, but this was the first time I had the idea to connect it to my app and look at it. Now, when it hits the water, it did disconnect, but when I pulled it out of the water, I was able to see this footage. So I instantly knew where the fish were, and I started fishing that pylon, and this is what happened. Go, guys, let's go. Right there where they were. Right there. Here's a little smaller one. I haven't seen one this small in a while. All right, well, I got my first sheephead. We were here for that. That's what we're here for. So let's get them de-hooked. Let me come in the sun so you can see them really fast. Give you a little information on these guys. So, all right, first sheephead of the day right there. It only took about moving one pylon and we didn't get them there. We moved to another, we got them. So you can see, hold on, let me get you in the sun. That is a pretty fish right there. He's not too big, not too small. We're gonna get him on a bump board. They have to be 12 inches to keep in Florida. He's probably over 12. So, grab him. As you can see, he is about 16.5 inches. So you can see his tail right there. So he's 16.5 inches down there flopping. So let me show you a little bit of stuff about these sheephead so you can kind of understand them a little better. So if you don't fish for sheephead often, or you've never really caught them and you've tried and you just can't get it, let me show you. See how big those eyeballs are? Those are huge eyeballs. Now also, do you see, I'm gonna try to get, I'll put an arrow on it right there. Do you see that nostril? Leave the sun on it. They have nostrils on both sides of their face. So basically they have their nostrils and their eyeballs. That's obviously their two senses they use the most. So as long as you can figure that out, that's what we'll do. Now that I found one, I'm gonna go back in that same pylon, hopefully catch another one, and then I'm gonna use the frozen shrimp to hopefully pull out some of these guys. Look how pretty he is. And also, everyone always wants to see them. Check out the human teeth, guys. Yep, giving you a big smile. Now I'm only here to keep a few of them, so I'm gonna keep him and maybe like 3 other ones. The rest can just all go back, but that's the first fish. Right here is where I just caught that last one. Now, as you can see my line, you see this fray right here? I don't know how well the camera's gonna be able to pick it up, but you see how I just pulled it off? It's super frayed. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of tying up a new one, I'm just gonna switch rods.
I brought an extra little bait caster with me, and it's already got a long leader, small hook, and a split shot right there. So we are gonna go ahead and use this.
I think I got another one. We found the spot, guys. Woo! No, oh yeah, that's another one. Switch rods, worked out. Not breeders like last time, but all right. Another one though. Yes, sir. Well, that is another sheephead. So you know what time it is now. We have to pull out the frozen shrimp from the grocery store and see if we can't catch them on that. All right, that is sheephead number 2 right there. Check him out. Beautiful, beautiful fish. He's probably about the same length as the first one, about 16, 17. You can see, look at these spikes, guys. Look at them. Razors. Now, either this is a male, because that's why he's kind of small, and they're breeding right now. The females are really big, full of eggs and fat. I was catching them on my last video if you didn't see that one. But this is a male or he's a young one. Either way, he's a good one, and we are gonna go ahead and throw him in the fish bag, and we're gonna switch over to that frozen shrimp, guys. So stay tuned for that, and let's see if we can't catch him on it. So we are back right here where we caught 2 sheephead already, and like I promised, if we could find them, we could get them fired up a little bit. I was gonna go ahead and use Oven Crisp Fremont fresh popcorn shrimp right there. We're gonna go ahead and drop one of these down and see. Now, I figured last time when they were fired up, I could probably catch them on anything. Look at this, just breaded shrimp. Let's see, dropping it down like that. Probably thread it a little better so that they take it. Let's see if these sheephead will eat it anything. Now that we found 2 of them, putting it down right there where they were just at. Now I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. If I don't get any bites, what I'll do is I'll scrape some of those barnacles to try to get them eating again. Now the purpose of me using this frozen breaded shrimp is sometimes the bait shop, like right now actually today when I called, they were actually out of fiddler crabs and shrimp. I'm using what I had from yesterday. So I decided I would use this today as also just to try it. Let's see. And so far no pecks though. I will turn this camera back on when we get one. I can't waste my batteries. I'm feeling pecks. I am feeling pecks. Now it could be pinfish because it is frozen shrimp technically, but I'm feeling something. Camera's on, camera's on. I think we're about to get one, guys. Here it goes. Oh, nope, he took it again. Oh, he came back up for it and I missed him. That's all right. Let's get back out there. All right, same thing. Right there, that frozen breaded shrimp is what we're throwing on there. How we're doing it is, we're just gonna hook it like a little chicken nugget for them. Right through there, and then we're gonna come back through it. Right there, just like that. Okay, so I just got pecked off. Now it might have been pinfish, it might have been sheephead using the frozen breaded shrimp. But I'm dropping it back down there. Hopefully we can catch something. As you can see, it's kind of getting really choppy out here. Super rocky. The wind picked up a little earlier than it was supposed to. We'll see how it goes. Oh, there he is. Oh. Any luck? They're here, they're all over the place. I just lost one, guys. Literally, look at that, bare hook. All right, guys, unfortunately that's a wrap for the video. It's getting so choppy out here. I just lost a huge one on the frozen breaded shrimp, so it will work, but unfortunately it's just getting so bad. I mean, you can see I'm getting slammed into the pylon. The wind is supposed to get to about 25 miles per hour. Now, I did say I was gonna shout out another content creator, fishing creator, and today I'm gonna shout out Salt Yak Charters. He has a YouTube, he has a Facebook, check him out. His links will be in the description. I'm gonna, woo, you seen that? I'm gonna start doing that every week. So if you wanna be the next YouTube creator or anything shouted out, comment below and I'll pick you next week and I'll shout you out. Hopefully you guys go check him out and hopefully you enjoy his content. But as for me, it's getting way too choppy. That's a wrap, guys. I'll see you next time.